This is Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on the DAZN, CBS. Good
Hello,
to see you, mate.
You good?
I'm good, mate. First off, shout out to the Cherries.
Up the
Sorry
cherries.
to my Arsenal boys.
Up the cherries, mate. 2-0, we'll take that. God, I wasn't there. It would have been some atmosphere there today. But yeah, all is good.
I was going to say an honour for me to tell you about the second goal as you were coming in tonight. As a result, it's made me very happy. Adam Azim, we know he's someone who's going to go far in the sport, and tonight just showed us a little bit more than we've seen before. Special kid.
Yeah, he's just notching up all the time. He's showing you bits of his game. Like today, he showed that he went through the gears, he found different shots, mixed it up, ended up walking Hearn down at the end and sort of getting on the inside, fighting in close, making him miss. A really well-rounded performance. Can probably still do everything a little bit sooner, but I think the Adam Azim of a year or so ago would have probably taken him to points. So he's showing improvements all the time.
What sort of fight do you think he needs next?
I don't know. It's hard to say about him because the problem with these.
Because the O'Hara fight seemed like, especially from what we seemed like it was a perfect fight at the perfect time for Adam.
Yeah, agreed. But every career that a fighter that makes it to the top is like that. Has that. A well-managed career, and that's what it's about. There's fights out there, I'm sure. I mean, the Harlem Eubank fight, I'm sure that would have been another good fight, another good test. But yeah, it's I don't know. I leave that to Shane and Jake. That's what they're so good at in terms of who. But yeah, it's a huge year ahead next year for him.
So I was waiting for you to mention Mr. Dalton Smith. We know there's been back and forth. It's not really from Dalton and Adam, more so from promoters, teams, managers. How big can that fight be, do you think?
Yeah, it could be huge. And where they're both at in their careers, they're maybe 2 fights away from fighting for a world title. That division's wide open. Dalton might be closer because he's had a few maybe like harder tests in a way, but Adam's had a lot of good learning fights, but they just haven't been big names. And that's that fight next year be huge, but it's got to be right. And it's got to be right. Can't just be right for one person. It's got to be right for both of them. And it'd be a shame if it happened as an eliminator for a world title. It'd be so much better if it's for a world title. A little like me and Richard's rematch. We could have done that earlier, and we have ended up doing it for a world title for a lot more money than we would have got before. So it's a business at the end of the day, and that's what a manager's job is.
Yeah, it's all about the timing. But I know that when that fight does happen, there's going to be so many good narratives that I reckon it's going to be a tasty one.
Absolutely.
So yourself and Zurdo, when you're going out to Riyadh?
8 days before, probably. Time difference isn't really anything in terms of 3 hours ahead, but I'm going to be boxing similar time to what I would normally back here. Finish camp here, then head out. But excited, yeah, can't wait.
Yeah. I mean, we spoke in LA at the Crawford Madrigal. I think it was the open workout day when there was a few fights going on the pier. I guess the conversations that were had that week around Riyadh season obviously worked.
Yeah, we had I met Ben out there and we had a few conversations and we got there in the end. And yeah, it's a huge fight, unification fight in Saudi Arabia, Golden Boy show. Obviously we're working with Boxer, but it's what dreams are made of. Unification fights, big unification fights against a real highly skilled operator. It's the fights I dreamed of being in.
Yeah. When we spoke, I think you said that the offer you received, you turned down. What changed?
I think that the team turned that offer down, the original one.
Did they add a 0 on the end?
Well, yeah, something like that. But look, it would have been a lot less than what I got for the Richard fight, the first offer, I think. And then
does a negotiation ever get accepted first time round? I'm sure that's just standard practice in boxing.
Yeah,
right?
probably.
You're a man with a belt, a world title belt.
Exactly.
I'm sure things have to go a bit back and forth before.
Absolutely. And then obviously Golden Boy got in on Riyadh season, the Saudis. So their budget was bigger. So that's great for everyone involved.
What sort of fight are we going to get between you two?
Can only be a war, really, can't it? He fights.
I think you're going to stand there and punch the shit out of each other. If I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully he's not going to punch the life out of me. But it'd be a high level war. I think a really highly skilled war. I think that's the only fight it can be, and then it's just who makes the right decisions at the right time.
I'm really looking forward to it, getting back out to Riyadh. What do you make of what we saw in Riyadh last week from your promoter, Ben Shalom, taking a few digs from Mr. Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn?
I didn't see the digs. I don't watch many of the
when I say digs, I mean verbal digs before anyone thinks I meant Frank was punching him around Riyadh.
What digs did he get?
Do you think them boys are giving it a bit tough to Ben because he's newer on the scene as such?
Yeah, I don't know what they were said. I don't know what was said. So
you've done well to avoid it, I'll be honest.
I watch the boxing. You know me. I'm not one for trash talk.
You don't subscribe to the stomping ground.
I don't subscribe to anything. I'll tell you that. But I appreciate the media. You know, I know what it's important to do for boxers. I'm probably one of the ones who doesn't do enough of it. But I mean, Ben's a big lad. He knows the game, so he seems quite happy with it. I think it's they've been having the Saudi gig, then Ben's got involved, now Golden Boy's involved, and they probably don't like it, which is kind of like anything. But all's well that ends well. So everyone's just got to keep on the same page and doing their business.
I'm going to get absolutely slammed for trying to drag you into an answer about what went on in Riyadh. And your boxing head just goes, I only watched the fights, I'm afraid. Jaya Pattaya, what did you make of his performance?
Yeah, solid performance, punch perfect really. I expected a little bit more from Jack, to be honest. I thought he'd try and press him a bit more. But Jai showed how skilled he is, as always, and did a number on him. You know, once again, Jack probably hasn't had the acid test that he needs going into a big fight like that. A little bit like Jordan Thompson, a little bit like Ellis Soro. He was brave in there, Jack. It's hard. You've always got to punch your chance. It's hard to see a fighter just get pulled out like that, because me and Andy Yard were watching it on Sky, working on Sky together, and we were like, we'd be fuming if that was our coach, but that's the coach's job to save the fight for another day, and maybe he did just that.
Yeah, I suppose he leaves the fight intact, which is the most important thing. One more. I know your focus is Zurdo on November the 16th. I've spoke to Jai. He said he's more than likely going to be out there. Are we going to get, do you reckon, Riyadh season style, just a straight head-to-head in the ring if you're to come through and Jai? It's a fight everyone wants.
I can't see why not.
You two nose to nose in the ring after, surely?
Yeah, look, I've got no bad words to say about Jai. He's a very skilled operator. He's obviously a recent father as well, and I know that motivation. He's a family man. Him and Jack had a lot of respect for each other for that. But people see us as number 1 and 2 in the division. I've got to go and prove that, you know, I'm still in that mix against Zurdo, which is no easy feat. So I've got to go and do that against Zurdo, do my job, and then that's the fight I want next. You know, I want Zurdo, unify with that, and then go again and unify with Jai.